Good afternoon. My name is Laylan Lambert. I'm 24 years old and I'm a graduate of the University of Central Arkansas. Today I'm going to talk to you all about your choice of college, why I chose the college that I chose, decisions that I would make different or better or anything of that nature, or if I could give a high schooler any type of advice about what school they want to choose, what advice I would give and why. Before graduating high school, I would say that you need to take time and figure out what exactly you want to do in your future, whether it be working or where you want to go to school, which is what we're talking about anyway. But you have to have an idea or a foundation of what you want to do in your life before you actually choose what school you want to go to. Once you have that idea, once you have that concept, then you can kind of look into what schools help benefit or will benefit with that growth. You go to every school. You talk to administration, you talk to students that are at whatever school you're looking to going to. You get as much information as possible before you make your decision to actually commit to any school. Once you do your homework and you do the research on what school is available, what school most fits you, then you can make your decision from there. The best thing to do before you waste all your Pell Grant money is to make sure that you're in the right major. Make sure you're in the right major. Once pick the major that you want to do, and once you're actually committed to that major, then the money that you're spending is going to go to the right thing. You'll be able to spend enough time doing the research and making sure that everything is copacetic. I had a very similar experience. While I was at the University of Central Arkansas, I spent a lot of money on a major that I actually changed. I spent 2 years being a business marketing student, only for me to change and become an English major, and I graduated with an English degree. So there's a filling out process that comes with the program or comes with the territory, but it's better to do the filling out process and figure things out sooner than later, just so that the money that you spent doesn't go to waste like it did for us. First thing I would do is sit down and have a conversation with them, see what they want to do with their life, because like you said, college isn't for everyone. And a lot of times people feel as if you have to go to college and you have to learn or be in that environment before you can actually figure out what you want to do. That's not accurate, actually. If you have an idea, if you want to say go to the military or you want to go to a trade school or something like that, then I would say that college isn't something that you should look into. I feel like you would waste your time and you would waste your money. So the first thing would be to have that conversation. Once the conversation is had, then we talk about what schools you want to go to if going to college is actually something that you're interested in doing. Once you have that conversation in terms of the schools that you want to choose, then you go into actually doing the research behind the schools and all of that, and so on and so forth. I went to school and get a degree that I can make money with as soon as I get out of college. And based on that guidance, that's why I went into business marketing, because it's very profitable once you get out of school. But I changed it because it didn't fit who I was and it didn't fit me as a person. So for the guidance that I didn't get, I guess the guidance that I would give to you all would be, do what makes you happy when you go to school, do what makes you you, and do what you are going to be comfortable in doing. Don't try to follow the crowd or try to do what other people are doing for financial benefits or anything of that nature. Continue to follow who you are, continue to do you, for lack of a better term, and go from there. I think when I graduated, I had 140 credits. You only need 120 to graduate. So there were 20 credits out there that I just took. There were classes that really didn't help for anything. They were helpful and beneficial at the time, but once I changed my degree and my minor, they kind of went to the side. So again, I think the best thing that you can do is go in with your head on straight and understand that the first 2 years you're going to do a lot of gen eds, but once you get out of the gen ed portion or general education, once you get out of the general education portion of your degree choosing, make sure that you're doing the right degree and that you're taking the correct classes so that you don't make the mistakes that we made. Best advice I can tell you about is to pay attention to deadlines. A lot of times every financial aid institution has a deadline for when you have to put your application in, and they won't tell you the deadline. They'll just let it go by so that you miss out on it. I think the last 2 years of my college experience, I missed out on a lot of financial aid because I didn't know the deadlines existed, or I missed deadlines and things like that. So I think one of the deadlines is either June 1st or July 1st for a lot of Arkansas lottery scholarships. So take all that into consideration and remember those dates. That's the first thing that I would tell you to do. Once you get the degree, remember what GPA you have to keep. and try to strive for 4.0. But if you can't get a 4 strive for the 3 because you'll still be able to keep those grants. You want grants and scholarships, you don't want loans. But if you can't keep those for whatever reason, remember what you have to have for the scholarship or for the grant. Usually it's a 2.5 or maybe a 2.75. But for the most part, you want to keep those GPAs in the back of your mind and remember that you need those in order for you to keep the scholarships that you have. Sometimes it's better to take some time off and figure out what you want to do with your life. Sometimes it might not be a good decision for you to go straight into college after you're in high school, once you graduate high school. Sometimes you may need a year or two to kind of just work and live in general, figure out things about yourself that you didn't know, get to know yourself a little bit better. And then when you get into school, you'll have a better understanding of what you want to do. A lot of times when you meet older freshmen, people that are maybe 20, 21, that are just getting into school, they have their head on straighter than an 18-year-old fresh out of high school because they've lived and they figured out, I don't want to go in this direction, I don't want to do this, I want to do this instead. So sometimes it's better to take some time off and figure out what you want to do before you actually get into school or get into college. I would say get involved. I did get involved, but I think I got more involved my sophomore year than I did my freshman year. My freshman year, I was involved in a couple organizations, NAACP, the National, oh Lord, I can't remember it. NAACP, GRIO, and minority mentorship programs. I was involved in those kind of organizations, but a lot of times I think the best thing for you to do is to get involved, meet people, have communication. Don't be an introvert to the core. I'm introverted myself, but if you can step out and kind of link up with different people, it'll be very beneficial for you once you actually get into school and get into the nitty-gritty of your degree. And also, I think internships are very beneficial for you. If you can get an internship or if you can look into internships, please do. I didn't look into an internship, but I feel like I should have. And because I didn't look into the internship, I feel like I missed out on certain aspects of my college experience. But I don't regret anything or anything like that. I still made out fairly decently. When life hits you and you're a college student, is to zero in on your classes. Focus on school, focus on the assignments that you have coming up. Don't let life is gonna hit you when you're in college, and your senior year is gonna be crazy. Trust me, my senior year was ridiculous. But don't let life keep you from being able to turn in your assignments on time or keep you from being able to do the best that you can with whatever situation you're dealing with. And then talk to your teachers, communicate with them, let them know what you're going through. I'm very personal. I don't like to explain certain situations to a lot of different people, but I kept my teachers in the loop with what I had going on with my life personally. And that helped me because once you have that conversation with your teacher and you figure out that your teacher is actually a person, it'll help you be able to, it'll help you out just in the fact that they've been a student before and they understand the process of life in general. And when it comes to deadlines, sometimes some teachers will waive or some teachers will be a little bit more lenient because you're so transparent with what you have going on in life. So I think those two situations are those two, I guess you would say, tips. Those two tips would be the most beneficial. And that's what I really benefited from when I was in college. Fun, don't have too much fun. Stay in school, focus on your assignments. Assignments come first, then the fun comes later. And just enjoy it. Enjoy the moment, because once you get out of college, you're out. And you have to look back on those memories and try to find the most positive memories to stick with. That's the most advice I can give you.